Good morning. I feel like this is in my face. My name is Christina Sandback. I'm the building principal at Willetts Middle School in Brunswick this year. The past 3 years, I've been the assistant principal there. So PBIS was my wheelhouse. So starting off, just a little bit of background on Willetts. Our enrollment, we have about 650 students, 50 certified and 15 classified staff. We have about 15% students with disabilities and 19% economically disadvantaged. We also house all the moderate to moderate intensive units for the district. We currently have 3 middle schools. We are combining to 1 next school year. We're building the mega school, as we call it, which is going to be huge. So right now we have all those students with us. Past 2 years we were a silver school, and before that bronze. So looking at how we've changed our acknowledgement system, we started with paper tickets, which is what everybody starts with. And then I had my Pride Council students, who are my student council, they were hand counting paper tickets every single Friday for me. How many tickets do we have in this bucket? How many tickets do we have in this bucket? And while they were doing the work, I wasn't. It was still exhausting and time consuming. So we used our technology that we have in the district, being a one-to-one building, and we have gone to a QR code that is linked to a Google form. So you can make the QR code free online with whatever QR maker, just Google that, you want to use. And my caution to this is when we first did it, there was like a limit on how many times you could scan QR code in a month. And like the first week of school, we hit the limit, and everyone's like, they're not working. I didn't even know that was a thing. So we just had to change the setting. So just when you're looking for a QR maker, look into that. So I made these little QR codes, and I put the teacher's last name and a number 1. I printed them on a Google Doc. I made 6 per teacher, and I copied them because I'm OCD on different color by grade level, and cut them out and had my media center specialist laminate them. So I gave 6 to each staff member because I wanted them to be able to freely walk around the room and pass it out. And then the kids scan them on their Chromebooks and hand it back when they're done. So I wanted it to be seamless during instruction. It wasn't like a stop, look over here, or go over there and scan this, or whatever. They had 6 to work with. They just have to make sure they collect them at the end of the period, because it just refreshes goes the same form every time. So a kid could, in middle school, scan the thing like 20 times and submit 20 tickets, but we have a solution to that. So I had 6 per teacher, and we made them fresh new ones this year. We implemented this system last year, but the same ones still work. So why did we do this? Again, making the tickets. Some of our building was purchasing like raffle tickets. Some of us were printing them on paper. And again, just another way that we're modeling to our staff of ways to implement and use our one-to-one devices, because we keep yelling at them about paper count, so we can't add to the problem. So this is what the form looks like. It's very generic, so they have to be logged in. Obviously, they type in their first and last name. They select their grade level from a drop-down menu. They have to identify what Pride category they were recognized for. So we are still encouraging our teachers to say thank you for showing respect in the classroom by doing blah, 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 blah. So they would check respect, and then they get to pick where they want to place their ticket. So we have 3 different drawings: a weekly, a quarterly, or a semester drawing, and then they just click submit. So again, I kept the form short. I didn't want it to be distracting during the instruction process. But I didn't want them all sitting there at the end of the period waiting to fill out their tickets, because that's not really ideal either. So our drawing options, again, are weekly, quarter, or semester. So for the weekly, these are selected randomly by our Pride Council members. So they come down to the office, because obviously myself and my assistant principal have a master Google spreadsheet that is exported from the Google form. So I literally just hit the down key on my computer until they tell me when to stop. And that's how they randomly select someone. So like I said, the problem of them, like they could literally refresh that form and submit like 20 while they're sitting in math class because they don't want to do their homework instead. you would see that on the Google sheet. You would see, you know, Johnny or Sally has submitted 20 like within 2 minutes of each other. And then we can have a conversation with that student about abusing the system. But knock on wood, hasn't happened yet. So they pick 5 students per week with me for the weekly drawing, and then I listed our free rewards that we have on the right-hand side that they get to choose from. So after they pick the 5 winners, the Pride Council gets on the PA. I typed them a quick little script. Hi, my name is blah, blah, blah from Pride Council. Our 5 winners this week are, please come to the office when your name has been called. And they get to pick from the choices. So half day pass, pajama day pass, using headphones during class time with teacher permission. There's 2 out of here that are super frequent, which is the exclusive lunch pass, which they get to sign out the conference room, and they don't have to eat in the cafeteria, and they get to bring 4 or 5 friends with them, and they think like they're top dog, because they get to eat in private. They like that one. They also like to be the assistant principal for 20 minutes, so they get to come down during their Pride time, which is like our intervention and extension period. And they, during that time, the assistant principal and myself hand out positive staff referrals. We call the kids down, read them, they get to pick their candy. We'll talk about that in a second. But the kids get to do that job. So they love to do that and get to get out of class for 20 minutes and sit behind the desk and feel very important. So we do those every Friday. They can also go into the quarterly drawing, which again, our student council randomly selects 4 students. They win a $25 gift card of their choice. So I tell them anything that I can think of at Giant Eagle, because I'm not running around Medina County for things. And then semester, I do 4 $50 gift cards to a place of their choice. We started like big picture when we first started PBIS, which was, I don't know, 6 years ago in Brunswick. We started with an iPad per semester. I thought that was a sweet gift. The kids told me they'd rather have a $50 gift card. I was like, sold. That's much cheaper for me, and more kids get to win. So I definitely encourage you to get some feedback from your kids on what they want to win and what they are willing to work for. This year we've implemented a Principals 100 Club, which is a research-based strategy, if you haven't heard of it. We had part of the system in place, but the fun part is new. So we have positive staff referrals. So we all know that teachers write up all of our bad kids all the time for everything they're doing wrong. But we also have a positive staff referral, and we encourage our teachers to write 2 referrals per week to identify at least 2 kids doing something good. So when they are submitted, they come down to the office. They get called down during that Pride time, when sometimes our students do it, but most times it's the administrators. We print them out, the positive referral from our mock form database, and we read it to them. They get a piece of candy. And then this is the new thing for this year. So they get to spin this bingo looking thing that has like 100, 1 through 100 in there. So they spin it, they pick a number, and then they get a little ticket, and that corresponds to whatever number they select on the Principals 100 board over there on the right. So on the ticket, they just write their name and grade. So the way the Principals 100 works is when there is a row of 10, whether it's horizontal, diagonal, or vertical, those 10 students win. So all 10 get something, whatever your something is, whether it's pencils or, I don't know, whatever swag, as I call it, you have in your stash of stuff. And then 1 kid out of the 10 wins something bigger. So we've done like water bottles, t-shirts, a student ticket to the Friday night football game, something like that. So this is just our new Principals 100 to incorporate another fun component to our Pride or our staff positive referrals. So data, this is the main reason that we went to a QR code, is we have to collect all of this data. And like I said, even though I wasn't doing the ticket counting, the kids were, it was still just time consuming and not really effective. And I didn't feel like I had a true pulse of what was going on. So this is our Pride ticket data from last school year. So I used my Google Sheet from the Google form, which was the QR code. Hope I didn't lose you. And I literally just sort it by the drawing type that they've submitted their ticket in, and I can just highlight those and it will count for you in the bottom right-hand corner. So I just throw in our numbers and you can see I keep track every week how many tickets are being turned in for the weekly, quarter, or semester drawing. So last year we had 10,581 tickets submitted. It's kind of crazy. So then we roll this into our overall data. So again, we've talked about a lot of different ways to collect data. We don't pay for a system in Brunswick. We're trying to use what we have. So this is my data from the past 3 years of what I collect from positives and negatives and monitoring a ratio. So just reminders to make sure you're monitoring your ratio, you're sharing it with your staff on a regular basis, keeping them up to date on what your data is looking at, and knowing that it's normal for your ratio to fluctuate based on what you're seeing. So we saw in the 17-18 school year, we had a lot of big suspensions. We had 23 10 days with a rec, which is insane in Brunswick. That's not like a thing. But that's also when we had a lot of school shootings that were happening. So we were really hammering any comments, social media posts, anything that was related to those things. So it put a lot of kids in that boat that, that's an outlier. So again, things fluctuate based on what's going on in your building or what's going on in the news or all those types of things. But overall, you see that our numbers, last year we had over 11,000 positive recognitions and down to 585 negative discipline incidences for the entire school year. So not bad for a building with 650 in the units. So the last thing I threw in here, we did present last year at the Ohio PBIS conference in Columbus on our entire Tier 2 program, which I know is another hot topic. So I just linked our full presentation in there in case you needed resources or information on what we do with Tier 2. Any questions on the QR code or our Tier 2